So today I'm going to be showing you guys what I think may genuinely be a brand new S tier primary on the squids, and that is the AR2 Coyote. Now I know there was a big hubbub when this was released, as it was a lot more powerful than every assault rifle, but to be honest I don't think it was absolutely S tier on either the bugs or the bots. It was very good on both factions, but it was far from the best option. The bots still rewarded having 110 plus damage to hit those headshots, or to hit those one-shot headshots, and the bugs still really wanted you to bring explosive damage to get around durability and just generally the tougher seeds like Battle Spears and Alpha Commanders. The Coyote was very serviceable on those, even probably A tier, higher A tier if I had to say, but it wasn't the best. Here, I think there is actually an argument to say that the Coyote is the best squid weapon. It is so good against everything you need to deal with. It just mows down voteless. It does really significant damage to flesh mobs with its fire damage, even if its raw DPS isn't that high. It is really good against the snitches. You can snipe them from really far away with this configuration. I'll get into it in a minute. It is really good against overseers, and on top of that, it also works against stingrays, and it can also set harvesters on fire, which does a lot of damage to them. This thing just does everything on this front. And until they add new enemies, this thing is just such a good all-rounder. The only thing it isn't perfect against is previously mentioned the flesh mobs. By itself, this isn't that fast of a kill, but it is really good to get a couple shots, set them on fire, and then switch to another option. And it's not that great against shields as well. It's not terrible against shields, but there are a lot of weapons that take it out faster, like the lib carb or any of the high DPS light pen weapons do a pretty good job against shields. This is just okay against shields, not the best. But oh yeah, the configuration, I'm running the 4x scope. It's my favorite scope in the game, and it really helps me land shots against distant snitches and flying overseers. I think it's actually really nice to have a scope on the squids, because you do need to make a lot of precision shots. Not as much as the bots, but a lot more than the bugs. Then I'm running the angle grip because I don't care that much about vertical recoil. I like ergonomics a lot, and I think it's very manageable to just crouch down when you're full autoing, and even if you're not, you just drag your mouse down, and vertical recoil is not that big a deal. And I'm running the muzzle brake, which reduces horizontal recoil. I don't think it affects vertical recoil at all, or not by that much, but really once you get your horizontal recoil down to the minimum, then I think every gun becomes pretty accurate with good ergonomics. So I'm going to be pairing this with the Ultimatum sidearm. I think it's just really, it's a contender for the best sidearm. The Crisper, I used to like it more, but fire effects still have been buggy for me, so I'm not going to use it. But the Ultimatum's nice, takes out flesh mobs and harvesters in one shot, as well as landed ships, which is really good utility. It's not that great against everything else though, because you just don't get that many of them. And finally, gas grenades I'm going to be running. I think gas grenades are just, they're kind of the only grenade that does anything to flesh mobs, except for thermites, but thermites are too slow for my taste. I prefer having gas to lock them down immediately, as well as lock down all the enemies around them. So I'm going to be pairing this with the K9 Arc Dog backpack. I despise this thing in multiplayer. I don't think you should ever bring this into multiplayer games. I know you can, stay away from the team and be careful on space and etc. yada yada. I still think this is just like the team killer. It's not even the team killer 9000, it's the team killer 10,000. This thing is just, I hate playing with people who bring this. So I'm bringing it because it's solo and I already have a lot of gas in my loadout. If you're multiplayer or just any with randos especially, please bring the dog breath. It does the same thing of clearing chaff really effectively and crowd controlling enemies without murdering your team if they dare exist within 50 to 100 meters of you, depending on how far it arcs off of enemies. I'm going to be using the spear gun. I think the spear gun is pretty solid against the squids. It's really fun to actually be able to stop a charging flesh mob. I think this is literally the only thing in the game that does that. Nothing else stops them. But now that I'm looking at it, I actually have a lot of gas and no good way of killing harvesters in this loadout. So what I'm going to do is something cheeky. I have used the Epoch a lot recently, but that's just because I used to hate it, and now I'm coming around to it for being not bad. So I'm going to make a change on the fly to the loadout, where I'm going to take the Epoch, because it actually does really substantial damage to flesh mobs, and it can one-shot harvesters if you hit them in the eye. And it's not bad against overseers either. I think it pairs really nicely with the coyote and kind of makes up for its weaknesses. Although this thing almost has none, this covers what little there is. I'm using the 500 kg because I'm on a city map and it's kind of the only airstrike that it reliably goes where you want it to. And I think it's also the best airstrike against the bugs, or not the bugs, the squids, because it one-shots harvesters and flesh mobs. I've been saying that a lot, but getting rid of them very quickly is very important, and it deals with landed chips. And finally, I'm using the Gatling Sentry. I'm definitely going to kill myself with this at least once, or probably at least some Siege Troopers, but the extra DPS is really nice on city missions. I find the machine gun sentries better on open field because you can spam it more often, but usually when I want to use a sentry on a city, that's for a big fight compared to just throwing it to run away. I think both of these are perfectly serviceable though. Arc Tower is also really good. I really like it. I'm going to make another change on the fly actually. I'm going to use the Arc Tower because I learned recently that this does not activate on Siege Troopers or civilians, which makes it a lot less guilt-inducing to use in the Gatling Sentry, which will mow down a lot of people you don't want it to mow down. The Tesla Tower only hates Helldivers and enemies, thankfully. I don't think that's intentional, they might change it, but for now, the Tesla Tower is really nice on the squids because it's super, super, super tanky to everything but harvesters. So it will just wipe out and draw aggro of hordes of flesh mobs and voteless, as well as dealing pretty effectively with what are they called? Overseers. Not the flying ones, they're a bit too far, but ground overseers, this thing does pretty good against. And finally, I'm going to be using Vitality Enhancement, because I'm pairing it with the Light Gunner armor, which is extra padding light armor. This is just going to give me a little bit extra survivability, which is very important on the squids, because they shoot a lot of projectiles at you. I don't think this helps that much against melee attacks, unfortunately, because those tend to do a lot more per hit damage. So if you get hit by like the Q-tip overseers or the flesh mobs, you're probably dead anyway. Anyway, I think that's it for the build, and I'll see you guys in the video. Alright, so let us get situated as our game freezes up a little bit. I had a really bad freeze when trying to record a video earlier, where I almost had to restart my computer, but thankfully it recovered at the last second, because that was a little scary. I don't want my game to get, or my computer to get bricked by this game. That would really suck. So, you know, fingers crossed for performance and optimization patches coming soon. But anyway, I think this build is really strong. I have been using the Coyote a lot against the squids the past couple videos, so I think next squid video I'm going to try and use something else. Because just for variety's sake. I've been wanting to do a variable video as well, because I think it's a really cool gun that just does not get nearly enough love. At least against the squids. I don't think it's that fantastic against the other factions. Alright. So this one, let's just pray we find the launch. Excuse me, pray we find the launch codes quickly, while we deal with these guys. Holy shit, I sent flying. That's good. I've been killed multiple times by snitches landing into the explosion they do when they crash. Actually does like enough to one-shot you, I think, in most armor types. I'm not sure about heavy armor, because I really do not like heavy armor on the squids. I think they are just up your ass too often. Though now that I think about it, with the warp pack, that might be possible to use the heavy armor. I'll have to test it out. It doesn't sound that fun, because the entirety of the squid, or not the entirety, but a solid half of the squid roster is just running you down all the time. which is also why I don't really like heavy armor on the bugs. But there's a bit more of an argument here generally, outside of niche scenarios like cave missions on the, oh, I just shot somebody. It's unfortunate. Niche scenarios on the bugs like the caves. Because here they do shoot a lot of projectiles at you, and heavy armor is actually really good against a lot of small hits. I feel like it makes a pretty big difference. So actually, I forgot, but the Epoch doesn't have any demo force, which kind of sucks. I hope someday they change that. Because how did that not take out the ship? See, and the fire damage is really good against honestly fucking everything on the squids, but really good against overseers because it's also medium pen. And their heads are medium armored, but really low HP. So if you're scoped in and an overseer standing still, you can actually snipe them out really fast with headshots. I don't recommend trying it on flying overseers though. Just, you know, set them on fire and they go down pretty fast anyway. Let's deal with them. So that was actually not the entirety of the... let's just be done with it. Ultimatum's great when you're feeling lazy on the squids. Still need more super credits after spending them all on the Force of Law Warbond. Which so far hasn't been as bad as I thought it was. The Arc Dog's not bad, and the armor, even though the armor kind of solves a problem that only exists because the armor was added, aka bleed. Bleed did not do a lot of damage until they added the bleed resist armor in Force of Law, and then I guess to make the bleed resist useful, they multiplied the damage by 10. So now it's pretty useful, especially in solos. Or I guess when you're the host in general, it feels like you get bled way more often. Which could be placebo effect, but I wouldn't be surprised if it's another host bug, because there's a lot of those. I was about to say going on right now, but throughout the entire game's history, there's been a lot of those. Oh, there's a lot of these guys as well. I really do not trust the Arc Dog. I'm terrified it's gonna zap me. But it's pretty effective at clearing out groups. And the stun it does, I think it really is just an arc thrower on a guard dog. Having an extra support weapon float by you and just shoot pretty regularly is not a bad deal, even if it isn't the strongest support weapon ever. It's definitely not the worst. So now that I think about it, the gas dog is also just the sterilizer. Dive quickly. The Arc Dog is also just a sterilizer, but it's a hell of a lot better at using the sterilizer than a Helldiver is. Okay, that's unfortunate. I think the 500 kg bounced slightly. Well, let's throw a gas and miss. And that was my last gas. Thankfully, there's a bounty of ammunition here. Which is just what I wanted. Awful aim. But see, the 4x scope, that's not a good example, but the 4x scope is really nice on the squids, because there's a lot of times where you need to hit a precise shot against a target that's kind of far away and moving. And doing that in third person is just not easy. It's still even pretty hard with a scope, I think it's a lot easier. Let's see, one tap for every single voteless and they just go down like a ton of bricks. It is really clean. I haven't gotten the chance to show it off on a flesh mob yet. Which, never thought I'd be saying there's not enough flesh mobs on a squid mission. But here we are. So see, it takes him out really fast if you go for headshots like that, even if it's kind of a tougher shot. But there's a lot of overseers right now, so let's make some room for us. I realize I've not used the epoch yet, but we also haven't seen any flesh mobs or harvesters. But really, I recommend, even though the headshot is nice sometimes, just spray them center mass and the fire gets them. And he's down. Alright, maybe... How far is that? Does that get it? Nope. Just about doesn't. That gets it. This is the first assault rifle in the game that I feel like is genuinely a jack of all trades. Because there's a lot of times where, you know, you use even the better assault rifles like the tenderizer and the lead carb, and you just run into a situation where you're just like, holy shit, I wish I had any other gun right now. Like, Jesus Christ. That was a long shot. Like, you have a lip pen or tenderizer on a bile spewer seed. At that point, you're gonna fucking hate your life, because if you have light pen and very bad durable damage, or just no explosive damage in general against those guys, it's just a bad time. Here it's like, I guess the squids don't have seeds yet, because there's just not enough, it's gonna be the, yeah. Let's go get the scrambler first. But maybe it's just because the squids don't have enough enemies to form up different seeds yet. You know, they only have, what, 5? That there can be a weapon that's just generally good on every single seed and mission type you bring it on. Maybe next big squid content, they'll add an enemy that the coyote just fucking sucks against, and that, in my opinion, will change, but... Who knows? Hoping not, because I actually really like this gun. It's really nice to use an assault rifle that actually feels pretty competitive for once. Oh, that's bad. I don't want it. Yeah. You never want to go near those. Every time you see them, you just want to shoot them if you're going in that direction just ahead of time, because exactly because of that, they do a lot of damage, a lot more than the barrels of every other faction, which I don't really know why they did it that way. It's kind of a strange decision. Okay, so just a light charge takes us out. That's good to know. Stratosphere, but and see, this is honestly why I kind of like the coyote better than the scorcher now, when it comes to the squids at least, because the scorcher used to be my absolute favorite weapon against the squids. The coyote is just so good against snitches, and dealing with snitches actually makes such a big difference when it comes to squid missions. Every time you kill a snitch, it's like you're killing the entire patrol it would have called in. Which is a big deal, considering, or not patrol, considering the drops that the squids call in can be pretty fucking big sometimes. I've seen them drop like 3+ harvesters, even on solos, as just not something you can deal with effectively while also getting swarmed by everything else on this front. So let's put, oh yeah, I forgot I swapped out the Gatling sentry for the arc tower. I actually would have used it a couple more times if I had remembered. But there it should be safe-ish, and it should draw any aggro that comes from that way. Okay, this is my one real complaint about coyote is these flashes it does whenever it hits something are fucking blinding in close range. Yeah, I definitely threw that thing on the wrong side. The carriage just fucking cleans up all of this. For very little ammo, too. Alright, counterclockwise a little bit. Yeah, that's my beef with sentries on solos, at the very least, is that it's kind of hard to keep them alive sometimes. Because you really only want to use them in situations that are overwhelming, but if the situation is already overwhelming, then it's tough to keep it alive. The Tesla really is like super fire and forget, because just not that much can kill it quickly. It's not guaranteed to get good value, but it is very likely to get good value. Alright, I have been seeing that stingray fly around, and I know the coyote can take it out, I think, a bit more than a single swoop. Maybe if your accuracy is perfect, it can't take it out in a single swoop. The art dog's doing unconscionable things right now to these poor siege troopers. But I know this epoch does pretty good against it if you hit, which I didn't. I'll come back though. Oh, I missed again. Wait, did the art dog fucking stun the snitch? That's really good. That's really good. I didn't know you could stun the snitches. I thought they were immune to that, to status effects. I don't know why I thought that, because now that I'm saying out loud, that sounds weird. Why would they be? But damn, that is actually really, really nice. Okay. I still think the art dog is the devil and you should not bring it with teammates, but that is a pretty big argument for it. Yeah, see, if that was a Helldiver, you would have been dead. Oh, I didn't finish the reload, but that's fine. Still did not finish the reload. Gas grenade. Now let's get this process going. So now maybe I'll get to show the epoch against, well, anything that isn't a stationary object. I am on difficulty 10, okay. This mission has been kind of spectacularly easy so far. I mean, city missions are always pretty easy. They're definitely the easiest mission type. Alright, so what I like to do is one-tap each guy and then set them on fire once or twice, and that seems to deal with them really effectively, and ammo effectively as well. If they're actively being a nuisance, then you can just kind of Mac dump them down and gas them. But see, that's not bad. Like, the epoch isn't very effective at killing the flesh mobs solo, but when you pair it with something else, I think it's really decent. It's just such a weird weapon that I feel like you need to really think differently to how you normally would with a lot of weapons. You have to be a lot more deliberate with the epoch, because once you charge up a shot, that shot is going, and any wasted shot is a big deal when you only get 3 of them per very long reload. Which makes it kind of frustrating to use at times, especially when it's out of your control. Like, you get ragdolled mid-charge, or you get flinched and the charge goes right into the ground and blows you up. Those things make it frustrating, so I definitely think the weapon could probably receive a couple changes. to be a little bit more fun. Are you gonna? Nope, you're not. Oh my god. Oh, that is way too close. Okay. Quick. No, no, go for the... Yeah, that's gonna zap me. Okay, up. And the Tesla Tower has a pretty fast cooldown, so even if it does get killed without getting much value like that, it's not a big deal. It's not as fast as the machine gun sentry is, but it's still faster than every other sentry except the flame sentry. Though maybe the flame sentry shares the cooldown. I'm actually not 100% sure. Here's a little tip, actually. Let's see if I can actually hit it. But if you get the shell directly into one of the holes on the side, it one-shots it. Well, after the shields are down. Or so I've been told. I don't remember if I fact-checked that to be true or not. But I guess we'll see if my aim is good. Oh, there's all the flash mobs. Let's see. Oh yeah, that's definitely gonna hit it. Okay, and immediately he's being a shithead. Okay, that was bad. I'm sorry, little sieve troopers. Yeah, but see, that is really nice as far as non-backpack weapons go. It's still slower than like the Wasp and the... Is that a... Oh yeah, that is true. Holy shit, that would take like 3 shots normally. Okay. That's not bad at all. I'm sorry, I'm really rattled tonight, so I'm all over the place. But as far as one-handed, not one-handed, but non-backpack support weapons goes, this might be one of the... It's definitely one of the best. I don't want to say it's the best, but it's up there. I think the HMG might still kill it faster, and the harpoon gun has more utility due to the combination of gas and stagger. But those 3, I think, are my picks for non-backpack weapons. Which is nice, because there's a lot of backpacks against the squids that are really, really good. Especially the ARG/Gas Dog and the War Pack. And the Supply Pack, but of course the Supply Pack is good everywhere. So see that, the ARG Dog did get a couple shots in there, but that really was the fire dot from the coyote. Oh shit, he's right here. I'm dead. Yeah, I'm dead. See, yeah, Vitality Enhancer and Light Padding does nothing against that. It's just, they just unlock you and you die. The end. This guy... Straight to the... Okay. Just kind of surprised those didn't blow up, but you know what? Sure. So this time I'm actually going to check where the enemies are and throw the Tesla Tower that direction. So it seems like it's about 3 tabs to kill an Overseer. Yeah, but see, the Tesla Tower just kind of... Okay, well, our arc weapon is attacking it, but it doesn't proc on Sieve Troopers and civilians, which I didn't know until, like, very recently. It's definitely a bug. It'd be really funny if it wasn't, and it procs on divers. It considers divers enemies, but it's definitely a bug. But this still makes it a lot more... I don't want to say viable on cities because it's not that big a deal gameplay wise, but it does feel bad to zap Sief and civilians and all those poor fellows you're here to save. Alright, it's 500 kg that, and that should be the mission, I think. And there we go. Nice relaxing mission, nothing too difficult. See, the squids are a breeze when you are very proactive about sniping snitches, or watchers, I think is what they're actually called. I've always called them snitches. But if you're proactive about sniping them out, the amount of enemies they send at you is... It's not nothing, because the squid patrols do feel larger than most other patrols, or the patrols of other factions. So you're not fighting nobody, but it still feels way more manageable than having to fight their drops, which feel like they have a really low cooldown. It seems like the intent of this faction is specifically to snipe the snitches, or you've made a mistake and now you're in a bad situation. That's a reasonable hitbox on that statue, and I'm not going to say anything else about it. Yeah, no, it's not quite one swoop, but on the next one we'll get him with the whatchamacallit, coyote. Right. It's the fucking statue hitbox again, I swear to God. Alright, well, I guess we're staying on this half of the pad. Oh wow, that was a one shot. I don't think I hit the eye though. But the epoch's really good against harvesters. Right. And see, the Tesla tower just fucking blocks anything from coming up here. It does die eventually. It's not invincible, but it has like, I think 7 or I don't remember exactly how much more HP it does have than every other sentry, but it's a lot more. Like, other sentries, you don't want them getting hit ever, pretty much, but the Tesla tower, it tanks, while also doing really solid damage against hordes. Okay. It seems like the gas is not really doing jack shit to a lot of these bolas. So I'm really glad I didn't bring the... I heard a flash mob, he might be on the floor though. I'm really glad I didn't bring the harpoon gun if gas isn't working. There we go. So I have to dodge both Pelican 1 and the Stingray. Yeah, it seems like it's about two good sweeps of fire from the Coyote before you take down the Stingray, which really is not bad. The Scorcher, I think, does take it out in 1, but 2 is not unreasonable. And of course it's Epoch 1 tap, because the Epoch does a lot of damage. I just wanted to blow that guy up. I know that was good. I almost blew myself up at the last second, but it is very satisfying to use the Epoch against Overseers, because it kind of just vaporizes them. Even if it's not a super great counter, because Overseers just move around so much, and you just don't have that many Epoch shots. But anyway, I think that mission went super smoothly. The only 2 times I died were to the bullshit purple barrels and to a stun lock. So, as far as that goes for me, I think that's a pretty good mission. Cities are always not too bad, but the Coyote, I do think this is a really good build overall. The Coyote just feels so fun to use against the squids. And honestly, the Arc Dog really put in a lot of work, a lot more than I thought it would have. So if you're running solos, I recommend it. If you're running teams, please, please, please bring the Gas Dog. Or the Liberator Dog is also pretty damn good against the squids. As to the Epoch, I didn't get to use it that much, but I think it did provide value against the couple flesh mobs we did see, and it one-tapped the only Harvester of the entire mission. So that's, you know, 100% success rate on what I wanted it to do. And the Tesla Tower, I kind of forgot about it for a lot of the mission, but at the end, it did get a lot of value by just tying down all those enemies that would have otherwise rushed me and probably killed me. So I think every part of this loadout, I'm happy with it. I would absolutely run this again, pretty much unchanged. At least on city missions, but even on open maps, I think this is more than good enough to run on there. So this might be a contender for one of my stronger squid builds, which I kind of didn't intend because I was tweaking it on the fly, as you saw in the intro. But honestly, that went pretty well. I really recommend something similar to this if you wanted to run it. But otherwise, I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys in the next video.